Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you a very simple way that I keep track of everything that we do in our homeschool. This is the planner that I have created. I shared a video with you guys so many years ago when I very first launched this planner, and I actually was a seller on an online website at that time where I made shirts and hats and all kinds of homeschool things, and I had a couple different resources, one of which was my homeschool planner and the other was my budget planner. I just want to make an updated video for you guys on that planner, how I use it. Yes, I still use this method. I graduated our oldest this last year, May of 2025, using this method, a reverse record keeper. So that means I will simply write down what we accomplish after we accomplish it. That includes time where we sit down together and we do family studies, unit studies, when we do anything. We don't necessarily have morning basket anymore in our homeschool because my kids are older, so morning basket left kind of a long time ago, but we still do have our family subjects and the things that we do together. So you better believe I write all of that stuff down. I track all of it. If it's a book we're reading, if it's a Bible study we're doing, if it's something they're doing independently on their own, if it's co-op homework, if it's a math lesson, I write down what lesson it was that they actually accomplished. So I do not have this in action to show you, but I'll link the very first video that I created to share my planner with you guys. That way you can go and kind of see in action how this works. And I decided to take advantage of the time I had, and instead of waiting for my printer to print everything out to have it perfectly polished video for you guys, I'm just going to show you what I have. I'm still waiting for my printer. This is a PDF download, so it's not something that you will get a physical copy. The benefits to a PDF download, in my own personal opinion, is you can use it year after year. So you don't have to buy it again, you already have it, unless you like to buy new things and try new things. I've tried many different planners over the course of our homeschooling year, and some of them are so wonderful. Some of them are a complete home management system. Some of them are simply for homeschooling. I created this for moms who think more along the lines of me. It's simple. This homeschool planner is supposed to be simple because I keep things that way intentionally. I have a spot where I keep our finances all in one planner, which I'll show you, and a spot where I keep like our actual homeschool stuff. I do keep it separate because I like it that way. And then as far as our life, I have a different method where it's just a simple calendar, and I keep our life organized on that calendar. I don't necessarily love having everything all in one place because I get overwhelmed that way. So this, at least I have a planner. I have stuff tracked. I do keep my planners from one year to the next. If we hadn't just moved and been in complete construction in this house, I could pull out one of my old planners and show it to you. I don't have that for you in this video. Again, you can watch the video down below and it will show you in action my homeschool planner and the reverse record keeping method that I use. This is simply just to kind of update and give you an overview of what the planner looks like and how I use it. There is the first cover page. You'll have a cover and then you have the first page that you come to. This can be used for you as the mom, or you can give it to your child and have your child track everything. This will open and lay flat where you will have a monthly overview for your entire month. So you can write down any days that you're planning on doing a little extra school. You can fill in your co-op days. You can fill in your homeschool field trip days. You can fill in work days. You can fill in days that you're taking off for vacation. You have room to do that. So it's a monthly overview. And then it breaks down to the weekly overview. And these are the actual pages that I have printed out. So imagine this for the monthly overview. You'll have this for the whole month, this exact same layout for the whole month. But then you have this for the week layout, where you have by subject, you have room depending on how you want to do it. Instead of this being by subject, for me personally, because I used one planner for all my kids, this was student. So I would have my oldest up top, my middle child, and then my youngest. He usually only needed the one line, so he usually got the bottom. I will only have my 2 children that I'm homeschooling this year, so it will look different. But I have this broken down by student instead of subject. You can do it however you want. That's just how I did it. Again, you can refer to the old video if you want to see that in detail. But next to that, I would just write down what we actually accomplished. So Monday, for my oldest, these 2 blocks would be his. I would write down math and the lesson that we did. If we had co-op homework, I would write down what the co-op homework was that we did. If we did family subjects, I would write down what that pertained to or what that actually was. History, I would write down the lesson, which for him it was done at co-op. So I would just continue that theme throughout the entire week. I would write down days that they had lawn mowing jobs. I would write down days that they went to work. I would write down any and every single thing. Driver's training, when they were going through driver's training, that counted. I would write it down. I would keep record of it. I would put down the time that he did his driver's training homework, because not only do you have your drive time, but you have your time that you're learning on the computer as well. It all counts. And yes, they got a high school credit for that. That is what I did with this. That's how I use it. I didn't plan it out moment by moment, hour by hour. That doesn't work for me. I've been homeschooling for 14 years now, and that method does not work for my brain. I love to wake up and I know what I need to do, but for some reason with my brain, it just works better if I write it down once we've accomplished it. You know how sometimes people that are like list makers, they will write down a list and then also write down things that they already did and cross it off because it makes them feel good. I guess maybe it's kind of the same thing. Instead of being overwhelmed by all the things that I think we're going to cram into our day that we don't end up getting to, I feel so much more pleased and accomplished if I know what we need to do. We all put our heads down, we all focus, and we do it. And then I write it down and say, this is what we did. This is the lesson. We read 2 chapters in this book. He did independent reading for this. He did driver's training. He did whatever it is. For me, that works so much better than having everything listed out moment by moment and trying to follow that. I love to have the freedom and the flexibility to move throughout our day. If there's a rabbit trail and we want to pull up a TV show and watch something extra, if we want to watch 2 lessons of World Watch News instead of 1, if whatever it looks like, every single day is different. Maybe there's a different book that I want to read from for this day that isn't on my plan. I don't want to stick to that. I want to grab a different book and read a different book. Maybe I want to dive longer into our Bible study, and so it eats up time from another window where if I had, every 30-minute breakdown, that doesn't work for me. I love the freedom and the flexibility of knowing 8 to noon, Monday through Thursday. Friday is a catch-up day, and we write down what we get done. We keep track of it. We write it down as we complete it. So here's the weekly spreadsheet where you can keep track of what your child accomplishes each week. Again, this can be used for multiple students. It's meant to be used how you want and how it fits your family. If you're a strict, rigorous planning person, this might be too simple for you and might not make sense, but it also might, because you can just use it to fit your home and your family. There's also a chore list that comes included in this planner. When my kids were younger, I actually didn't keep this in my planner. I printed it out and put it on a clipboard in their bedroom. Again, you can print out the pieces that you want, use them how you want, and let go of the rest. My boys personally each had this on a clipboard in their room with their chores that they had to do. School was one of their tasks that was written on here, and they filled in the bubble when they completed school. They had chores down at the bottom as well that were like weekly rotating chores. I love the freedom of being able to make it work for our family and printing out the pieces that we use and leaving the rest. Like, that just works for me. Included in this planner is also a reading log and a rating chart. So you can write down different book titles that you read, maybe book titles that your child reads on their own. I don't know, right? It's whatever works for your family, but there is a reading log. So you can track the books that are read, the author, how many pages they're in, and then you can rate it as well. So this can be books you read as a family. This can be books that you assign to your child alone. It's just a place to keep track of everything, because we want to keep track of everything. This isn't a heavy weight and a burden, but when you start writing it down and you pay attention to everything that you're actually doing with your children every single day, it will actually blow your mind. So that's the point in writing it down. Sometimes we might feel like we didn't accomplish anything when we have a daunting list ahead of us. We might feel like we didn't accomplish anything. For my brain, it works best to actually write down what we did accomplish. So I already know what we need to do. My boys know what we need to do. So when we sit down and we can say, hey, we did math. Hey, we did our family subjects. Perfect. We got in that Bible reading. Awesome. We got science done together in our unit study, and we read some of our literature book for like our literature study. Perfect. It's been a good day. It's been a full day. Let's move on with the rest of the day. Like it's just different. And I got asked the question recently, if we do every subject every day in our home. Again, maybe this video will answer some of that. We don't necessarily do every subject every single day, because some of the subjects that they're getting credit for is actually done at co-op. So they don't do science every single day. they do it once a week, and then they'll have homework and complete that homework. So whether that equals an everyday type of thing, or if it means they're going to do science homework for 2 hours on Friday, and then they spend an hour in co-op doing that on Tuesdays, it just kind of varies. So that's kind of a look at my homeschool planner. I wanted to give you guys a new video on it because the old one is very, very old, but it does give a good description and kind of overview of how I use it. It's that planner in action with reverse record keeping. So I'll link it down below because it might be more helpful than me just talking. If you're interested in it, I will leave a link in the description box down below where you can find my homeschool planner and also my budget planner. I did create this budget planner because same thing, it's meant to be simple. I'm a simple person. I like simple things. I like feeling like I'm working towards something and achieving something in that way. So I have the Simply Intentional Budget Planner. Again, I saved this, or I've shared this before. These are 2 things that I sold out of every single time when they were a physical copy, and I sold them online on a website called Jane. I sold out of them every time. It was such a much needed yet simple method to doing these kinds of things. In my budget planner, there is an income tracker. I'm obviously not going to show you all of that because I am working through it right now as it is the 1st of August. But you can write down the month and then any income that you bring in, whether that's your husband's income, whether that, whatever that looks like for your family. Then there is a payment calendar. So you have the month up here, which would be the month of August, and it's left blank on purpose. I like to go through and fill in the dates. It's left blank on purpose. It's supposed to be. That's fun for you to fill out. I like doing that. So if you like that, then this will be good for you too. You fill in the dates of the month, and then I use it to just go in and write down obviously any bills that we have due, the day that they're due, and then what paycheck they're going to come out of. So that's how I use that. There is a payment log where you, obviously the month of August, this is something that I have reminded myself. If you don't have a place where you keep track of all your bills that come out automatically, the ones that you pay by check, I recently realized how important that is for my husband to know. My husband needs to know what comes out automatically, what I pay, what is sent a bill, what's paid quarterly. I do all the bills and take care of everything. So if something were to happen to me, having all of this for him to look back at is such a good thing. Like, I know he will appreciate it. So that was just something that was brought on recent by some different family circumstances and things that we've gone through. But this is kind of where I write everything. The bill that's due, the amount that the bill is, the due date, the type of payment that we used, and then I put a check mark when I paid it. Again, I don't have this filled out, just very vaguely for our payments because I'm doing it. And then I was like, oh, I should make a video on this to show you guys because it's been a while. I like this because I can go back and look and see what bills were paid and when they were paid. Then if you like to keep track of your spending every month, there are 2 forms in here for your spending log. If you have certain savings goals or certain financial goals that you're trying to meet, this is so helpful to help you keep track of where your money is going and to actually see it. It changes a lot of things when you actually see where your money's going. So again, this is all for August. So you have all of these pages for every single month of the year. This is a January through December undated budget planner. Same pages for every month. I'm just showing you August. There's a description. So let's say we went out to Arctic Circle and got ice cream. Okay, ice cream, the date, the amount, and what we have left for a certain spending category. I did envelopes for a long time, which are something I also created and sold. Cash envelope. So this is just another way to keep track of that if you do the cash envelope system. Then there is a savings log with a goal. Again, this is just for August. All of these are in the month of August. And then you will have all the same pages for the month of September. You can write down on the bottom what it is you're saving for, Glacier National Park, whatever. And then your goal amount at the top each time you save an additional 50 or whatever towards that goal. You can fill in the bubble all the way to the ladder. Super helpful also in teaching our kids different savings goals like financial responsibility. Just a little page for motivation in here or extra bills, things upcoming, saving for Christmas, saving for birthdays, extra things you might be saving for that aren't necessarily on your mind, or if you just need some encouragement. One thing I do have in there that I don't have to show you is an online password log. So it is at the very end of the book, which is why I don't have it to show you, because I just printed out the ones that I'm working through August. This is how I've referred to it now. Instead of printing the book out in a whole, I just print out the months sheets that I need. An online password tracking form. So it will have your username, your password, your login information, all of your credentials at the end of the book for you to keep track of any and all online records and logins that you have, which I think is a huge, like a very important thing to have. Again, for unexpected life occurrences, but also just to have. I have to change my password I don't know how many times on all the things, and it's so nice to have a place where everything can be all in one place. So that's today's video. I just want to show you really quick these two planners. I created the Stand store. It's linked in the description below. So many of you had asked so long, hey, I saw your planner. How do I get my hands on it? I get emails about it still to this day. My planner is simple and it's supposed to be. So if you're looking for something more intense, something different, then obviously you're probably still not on this video, because that's not how I roll. I need simple, attainable, and I love to write down what we've done after we have done it. You can achieve that with any planner. It's simply just the method of like prioritizing your time and writing things down. Do what works for you, run your race, and I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I would be so happy to answer them for you. We'll see you soon. Bye.